So this video is a quick update on my battle with depression and what I've learned recently that I feel has a huge impact in helping me get over it. And if you do suffer from mood swing or depression every once in a while, and I realize that a lot of entrepreneurs do, then this video might give you a different perspective. Hey everyone, it's Gabriel here. So for the longest time, I've been suffering from depression. It wasn't really something I talked about a lot publicly until maybe about 1 or 2 years ago. But it's something I've been facing ever since I was really young. I always have this feeling that I'm not happy, that I'm depressed from time to time. It basically comes and goes. So it's very cyclical. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm not. And I always feel like I have a lot of pain in my life, a lot of, past traumas that I can never get over. And sometimes it feels like life is meaningless. No matter how much money I've made, awards I've achieved, or increase in comfort level, I can never truly seem to be happy. And so recently I picked up this book out of nowhere. Someone has been telling me to read this book, and I decided to read it. And this book is called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It was a very interesting book. I didn't expect this book to actually give me a new perspective on my depression. But what I've actually learned from this book is that life is a suffering. And something I really learned from that is that no matter what choices you make, there is going to be suffering. I don't know why, but I've come to accept that this is the way the world is created or set up. Now, as a Christian, it makes a lot of sense because even in the Christian context, the world is fallen. And then because of that, this world has become a world of suffering. So whatever choice you make, you are going to suffer. So if you are poor, you will suffer from problems such as paying your bills. If you're rich, you're going to have rich people problems. You're going to suffer from things like different set of problems such as having the ability to hide behind money and power instead of facing the real issues of why you're bad at relationships. And trust me, I've been there. If you're a player, you may enjoy the company of many different women, but you suffer from the lack of intimate, deep relationship that only can be achieved through one committed partner. If you're a committed partner, you suffer from the lack of choices and the ability to look like a stud. If you're committed to building your business, then you have more competitive advantage over those who put family as priority, but suffer from missing out on the fulfillment a family can give you. If you are a committed family person, you might enjoy the fulfillment of having a family, but most definitely you will lose out in competitiveness in your business. Now, I know a lot of this sounds like an overgeneralization, but if you really think about it, so let's say you compare someone who puts in 8 hours of work and then 8 hours with family versus someone who puts 12 hours a day on their work. Naturally, the person with 12 hours will gain more or at least have a slight advantage over the one that is putting family first. Now, the point I'm trying to make is this. Whatever choices you make, you will suffer. Life is a suffering. It may sound pessimistic, but hear me out, it's not. So the idea of constant happiness is nothing but a dream. You will never ever be happy all the time. You will always be facing some kind of suffering, some kind of pain at any given point of your life. Now, I believe that part of why I'm feeling depressed and upset about it is because I haven't come to accept this fact and that it's not always possible to be happy. Whatever I choose, there will be suffering and I will feel unhappy about something. And the key here is acceptance. Accepting that whatever I choose, there will be suffering, but it doesn't end there. I learned earlier in my life from Tony Robbins that the quality of the questions you ask yourself will determine the quality of your life. So since any choices that I'm going to be making, I will suffer. The more empowering question here that I need to start asking myself more is which suffering will be more meaningful to me. So yes, I cannot avoid the suffering because whatever I choose, there'll be suffering, but at least I can choose which suffering will be more meaningful to me in the long term. So an example is, yes, if I choose family over business, I've been suffering from that, right? Because I realized that the more I put my family first, I'm actually losing out. I'm suffering from losing competitive advantage to people who are putting business first. But in the long run, when I'm 80 years old, when I zoom out and I think, when I'm 80 years old, is having a family and going through experiences with them more meaningful to me or having this awards and millions of dollars that I made? And obviously the choice was family. Now, if I choose to be committed to my wife, I suffer from losing out with sleeping with all kinds of women. But in the long run, is the deep, meaningful transparent relationship more meaningful to me. Even in your work and your career, if you choose to champion for a cause, you are actually challenging the current status quo. You will be shot. They say that all truth passes 3 stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. And then third, it is accepted as self-evident. So most of us, we just want the self-evident part, but we don't want to go through the ridicule part and the violently opposed part. Let me give you some examples. In our social life, if you are the first person to champion equal rights for all races or equal rights for women, they are actually challenging the status quo back then. If you study the life of those who championed such causes at the beginning, you realize that many of them are being ridiculed and violently opposed to the point that some of them lose their life. But they become legends that we talk about today. Even in technology, the first wave of people who champions the internet or electric vehicles or Bitcoin, again, they will suffer from being ridiculed and violently opposed before it becomes self-evident. Today, electric vehicle is self-evident, but if you look at the news and the media is attacking electric vehicle in the past, if you look at the news and media attacking Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, which they are still right now, but it's starting to go into the third stage of becoming more and more self-evident. So the point I'm trying to make is that if you choose to stand and champion for something, you will suffer. But if you choose to not champion or stand for anything, you will also suffer from being a nobody. As a Christian, I realized that even God had to make 2 choices where both choices end in suffering. He either suffer from losing all of us and condemn us to hell, or he suffer from giving up his son Jesus to be condemned to redeem us all. I think both sounds like a suffering to him, but which is more meaningful? Now, I'm not saying that you have to do all the things I mentioned. You have to champion for a cause, or you have to put your family first before your business, because what's meaningful to me, what's meaningful to somebody else, may not necessarily be meaningful to you. So choose your suffering. Chances are, if you're unhappy, that's totally normal. That's part of the human experience. Because whatever you choose, you are going to suffer. But the more important question here is, ask yourself, is that suffering going to be meaningful in the long run? And if the answer is no, then you have the choice right now to choose another type of suffering, but it will be a suffering nonetheless. Now, I know this sounds very pessimistic, but I don't think it is. I think it's one of the most reasonable and logical explanation I can find for my mental health. Because everything I do, there's always suffering, and everything I do, there's always pain. And I've come to accept and have to come to live with that, but which is more meaningful. And this has given me a new level of personal breakthrough in my mental health and in my life. So let me know what are your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I don't claim to know everything. This is something that I found recently that helped me a lot, and I hope that it has helped you as well. Do share your biggest takeaway in the comment section, and also let me know if you believe in this, if you agree with this. Which suffering are you choosing, and why is it meaningful to you? So that's all I have for you for this video. If you enjoy simple content like this, please remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Take care. Bye for now.